So now I'm going to go over different types of nail stands. And to start off, I'm going to show you one of the more popular ones. And it's these little stands here. So the stands I'm going to show you are obviously not brand new. No matter what you do, over time, your nail stands are going to start looking a little dingy. They're gonna start getting some gel polish on there. There's not really any way to help that. Okay, so you can always wipe them down. I definitely recommend to wipe all of your tools down, even the nail stands. You can always wipe them down, and yeah, there's just gonna be no helping the polish from getting everywhere. So this is one of the most popular ones. You've probably seen people use these all the time. These are the little stands that come on it. There is a magnet there. There's a magnet at the bottom of here, and it sticks right on. One of the issues, well, mainly probably my only issue with these, is that sometimes a little magnet will slip out. So they actually come with a little silver sticky paper over it, and sometimes that sticky paper will come out. I was looking for one that may have, okay, this one has the paper. So you see here, it has that sticky paper on it, and then the magnet is underneath that. Sometimes those things come off. Sometimes the actual magnet comes off. Don't throw your stands out just because the magnet comes off. You can just take nail glue, put the nail glue inside the hole, and then put the magnet right inside, and it's gonna stay put. The other thing is that over time, sometimes you see the neck of it is kind of thin. The neck right there, this little part that goes inside and connects the top part to the stand. So anytime my stands have broken, that is where it breaks. That is going to happen over time. You're definitely going to get stands that break, but I have found that I have some that have still lasted for years already. So just keep that in mind. These are also very, very affordable. So even if you do break it, don't try to worry about it too much. So that's these stands. Now this is another stand. This one comes with actually a tin, and this is the cover for the tin, and they come with these little stands, and you can store these little stands inside the tin and close it up. I don't use these often, so I don't have the bottom of the tin. I have another container that I just store all of my stands in. I do keep the tops because I use them just once in a while, but I don't use these that often. Again, gel polish and things like that, that is going to happen. It's going to be very hard to keep it stain free, gel polish free. But these little stands hook right on to this base. See that? So it's magnetized as well. Again, these come with a tin, a round tin, and you can store all of your little stands inside. Another stand is these. So you will see all of these stands in different colors. These will come in silver. So I have some white ones, I have some pink ones, I have some black ones, blue, there's silver. There really isn't a difference to me. It's just whatever color you prefer. I guess you get whatever one that you like. These stands I have seen in multiple colors as well. I like pink, so I got them in pink. I believe they come in like white and also blue. You can see these stands don't come apart, so I would say these are really good for displaying. I have used them, obviously. You see gel polish on it, but I say these are more better for displaying. If you're doing a specific nail design on one nail, you kind of want to have that nail isolated and close to you, and you also don't want to have that nail too close to the other nail. So example, if I'm doing a nail, I will take a nail off and put it on there. So I have my nail here, and let's say I have another nail here. If I'm trying to do a design, I might bump the nails that are next to me. So you see, it doesn't give you so much room. But if you want to do something simple, like let's say you're just adding a polish, you're not really doing a design, you're just using a regular polish, maybe some glitter or something, and that's it, then yeah, these stands are fine. But if you're doing like detailed nail art, or you want to use nail foils, things like that, I would say stick with the individual stands. But again, these are also good for displaying. So maybe you finish a nail set and you want to take some videos and photos. When they are stain free and clean, it does look really nice to display your nails. Now I'm going to get into these little fingers. So these are just individual fingers, and you're able to add a nail on it. So you see I've added a nail. Let me get another one that has a nail. Added a nail. You can even add longer nails. So if you add a longer nail, you want to be careful, because if your nail is this long, well, if it's a little longer than this, or if it's further down to where the cuticle area is, it is going to touch your surface. So if you have a longer nail and you're using these to polish and or add nail art, you want to just move it up some, so that it's not hitting whatever surface you're using. Okay, so these little nail fingers, personally, I use them as practice nails. I don't particularly like doing a whole full set on them. They're more for nail art, at least for me. It becomes a nuisance as they're all separate, and then you have to prepare the nail plate of this, so it's best to file it and then apply the little tab putty and then stick the nail on. But you see the finger is facing down, so if you're making a press-on nail set, I would say any of these stands would be the quicker route. These, it just becomes a little bit of a nuisance, to be honest, and I think you have to experience using it to kind of understand. But these are great for practicing nail art. Maybe you want to practice zebra print, or you want to make a swatch or something like that. They're good for that. So here I have some acrylic. All right, so I used acrylic for this, and then I polished the nail, and then I have another one. So again, acrylic. Also good for displaying. So if you want to just add a little bit of art to your nail area, you can make a design on a nail and just place them somewhere. So I have this on top of my nail dresser where I have a lot of my supplies, and obviously they're too long, so I have it at the edge and they kind of hang over. So it's just a little bit of decor that I use them for. You can place them on a surface. I have seen people do that, like maybe you have a piece of plywood and you can line them up and place them like it was a hand, so you have your 5 fingers, as it does have a sticky pad at the bottom. I personally haven't even taken any of the sticky pads off, but that's also another option. You can take that protective layer off the sticky pad and then stick them to a surface and work with them like that. Or you can just work with them individually. So another thing with these, if you want to practice acrylic, I prepare mine. This is just a quick side note. We're not talking about acrylic in this course or anything, but they're really hard to stick acrylic onto this surface. Even with your press on, you want to buff this surface here. You want to make this surface rough, okay, so that this little blue tab putty thing will stick better. So make this surface rough, or you can do something like this. So this is a piece of acrylic. You can take some polygel. Polygel is better in my opinion, because you can just take a blob of polygel, put it on there, cure it, and then you can actually just stick the nail on top of that with your tab. Stick it on top of the nail. So just a little tip I find works better for me, but you can make a little ball of acrylic to create a thicker surface, as the nail is kind of thin and flat. See that? So that is another typer stand, and now I'm going to show you guys some hands as well. So here I have two hands. These hands were very inexpensive. Obviously they're not like the realistic rubber looking hands. These also don't bend and stay bent, so they're not flexible. I use these more for displaying a nail set anytime I didn't want to use my own hands, or I just didn't want the press-on nail set that I made to just be on a flat surface. I wanted to actually have it on hands. So that's what I got these for. I do not use them anymore for that. They're quite beat up and stained. However, you can get these for like $10. I think these were like $11 for two. So you can use the little putty and stick it on the nail. And then put the nail on here. The only downside with all of these different types of hands like this is that you can't adjust the sizing of the nail. So if you have a nail set that is a size large and you try to model it on here, it's gonna look a little awkward and weird. So if you have a nail bigger than this, it might look a little weird. I also wouldn't recommend doing your nails, your press-on nails on these hands. It's just way awkward. These don't have it so that you can put it on their stand. These are more for display. So you see you can stand it up. So they are more for display. If you're trying to use it to do your press-ons, again, there doesn't allow for so much space, so, and no flexibility, at least this one. So it will kind of get in the way. It is doable, but I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. Even if you have one that has a stand, and I'm going to show you that right now. I have this one and it has a stand that actually, the stand suctions on your table, so it's very sturdy. And this one does move, it's flexible, so I can move the fingers out the way and work on one finger at a time. But you're going to have to prep these hands, both of these hands, really well. You're gonna have to file the surface of them down. And you can see I have some acrylic on there. File the surface down and then put a nice size of your putty so that it'll stick on here and not come off so easily. Also, if you have big nails like this, it can become a nuisance to keep the nails, the actual nail on, and then you got to deal with the remaining fingers there and making sure this stays on while you're polishing and doing the nails. Also, a big thing, putting the entire hand in your gel lamp, which isn't too big of a deal because our hands are made to go in the gel lamps. Our hands are a good size to fit in the gel lamps, but I have tried that numerous times and I find that it always somehow gets hit, or the hand is wobbly, or it just doesn't want to stay. If you're applying rhinestones, sometimes the stones will slip off. It causes a little bit of some issues. So don't recommend these to apply to do your press-ons. I will recommend to display your press-ons, or if you're doing a nail or two, one nail design, you're not really doing a full set for your business, then these are great to have. So if you notice, I did not show you those other hands that you might have seen around social media or on Amazon, where you are able to take the actual nail off and clip it on and off. Definitely don't recommend those. It's extra work. You're going to have to clip the nail on and then put the press on over it. It's just not necessary. Also, it doesn't allow for so much isolation, the hands, whereas these stands, this is the stand I recommend. These little stands here, you can use this base as well. With these, you can pop it right off. Even if you have, let's say you put a top coat on the nails that are here, you can put that in the gel lamp and work on a nail. With your hands, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to put the whole hand in there in the gel lamp and then wait to work on any other nails. And when you're doing press-ons, you really want to utilize your time as best as you can. So you did some designs on this nail, maybe you did a top coat, you can go ahead, put that in your gel lamp, and while it's in there curing, you can work on this one individually. So that is the biggest pro to these stands, okay? And it is a huge downside when you're using other stands like this, where you can't isolate one nail. You have to put the whole set inside the gel lamp. Same thing with the hands. So that's it in regards to nail stands. I hope you got some great information, and I hope it was very helpful. If you should have any questions in regards to this video and the nail stands, please do feel free to reach out. Now we're going to move on to the next lesson.